Draven has been banned. Oh my god. They hit my boy. So if you guys haven't heard, I'm sure you have, there have been 7 new bans, and they're fully banned. There's no restrictions. Other games have things like, oh, you can only run 2 copies, you can only run 1 copy. These bans are full out bans, so you're not allowed to play any of these cards anymore. Effective March 31st. So this is really interesting. If you guys didn't know, I was playing Draven a little bit for the first half of Spiritforged, or first like 90% of Spiritforged. I attended 3 skirmishes with it and got 1st, 5th, and 1st with this with the deck with mid-range Draven. So it's very interesting to see these bans. I'm really excited for these bans. I'm not happy playing Draven. I know I won a bunch, but I'm really happy to go back to my boy Viktor. So we'll really quickly go over the bans, and then I'll talk about a couple of the deck lists that I might be looking into for the near future. Call Shot and Scrap Heap are part of the Miracle package. Fight or Flight is in just all purple decks, basically, and then Draven Vanquisher is the chosen champion for mid-range and Miracle Draven lists. This is really important, obviously, because Fight or Flight is just broken for Draven, generally speaking, and losing Draven Vanquisher for the chosen champion slot for Draven is like very, very significant. Not having the guaranteed turn 2 play or turn 1 play going second on Obelisk is really, really important, and the other Draven champions just are not good. Origins Red Draven is like not playable, and then Spiritforged Purple Draven is like fine. It's like a smidge slow. Your Draven, I don't think, is really going to be able to leverage Purple Draven as well as a deck like Irelia can, because Irelia has the ability to negate Draven's death with things like Zhonya's and Guardian Angel, and Draven is not able to mitigate the death, meaning Purple Draven is a lot more vulnerable in the Draven list than it is in the Irelia list. Winning combats is already a big enough payoff for Draven that you don't need additional payoffs to win combats. You just need to be able to have ways to get onto the board efficiently and stick on the board. So I don't think Purple Draven really fits the Draven game plan as well as Draven Vanquisher did. This means that I think Draven is not going to be that good of a deck. It's probably going to be somewhere in like the bottom of tier 2. These nerfs are very, very significant, and 2 of its battlefields got hit as well. Dreaming Tree, Obelisk of Power, and Reaver's Row got banned as well. And Draven was using Obelisk of Power and Reaver's Row to very, very good success. These battlefields are very, very, very good, and Draven is going to suffer a lot no longer being able to use it. I don't really know what replaces these 2 battlefields in Draven, and I don't particularly care to theorycraft for them because I don't think Draven's going to be particularly good. So with this being said, what am I playing now? I am playing Tempo Viktor. I've been playing Tempo Viktor for the past week. I attended 1 skirmish with it while Draven and everything was still legal, and I got 2nd place. I think the list is fine, and with the Draven ban, it gets a lot better, because I think Viktor's matchup into mid-range Draven was like pretty horrible. It was like 40-60 or like 35-65, something like that. And then the Miracle Draven and Detonate Draven were like not great. They're probably like 50-50, depending on the draw of the Draven, how fast they can get onto the board. So I'm like happy to see the Draven bans for Viktor. So we'll jump into 2 lists that I have. I have 1 Tempo Viktor list and 1 Tempo Kaisa list. I am a Tempo player by heart. I grew up in Origins. Tried and tested by the Origins meta, which is very, very tempo focused, and I think with Draven's banning, the meta will shift again towards more Origins style meta, which is more tempo focused, which is, I guess, good for me. So I have 2 lists, Viktor and Kaisa. The Kaisa list is basically the same as the Kaisa list that I was running at the beginning of Spiritforged that I brought to Vegas. And then the Viktor list is very, very similar to what I've been running for the past week. I think these 2 lists are going to be very, very good. Kaisa, I think, is going to be better into like the wider field. However, we'll have losing matchups into Irelia, which I believe will be the best deck in the format. And we'll also lose into Aurora, which I think will also be pretty decent in the new format. So I think these 2 lists are probably like equally competitively viable. It's like still to be determined on the Viktor. I'm bringing Viktor probably to a skirmish this weekend. because I was originally going to bring Draven to the skirmish because it's going to be a relatively large skirmish. But with it being banned, probably going to be running Viktor. So let's go over that right now. So first, I'll go over Kai'Sa because I care a lot less about this deck, and I'll probably cover it to a lot less of a degree. So this is the Kai'Sa list. It's running 7 Fury runes and 5 Mind runes. It's running Voidgate, Targon's Peak, and Hall of Legends. Hall of Legends is like obviously really suspect. So this was originally the Reaver's Row. It was originally Reaver's Row. I still like Voidgate. I still like Targon's Peak. Hall of Legends, I think, is like really suspect. I don't really know about Hall of Legends, I'll be honest. I was like looking through the battlefields, and there's not like a great going second battlefield. So it's like Voidgate game 1, Targon's Peak going first, and then blank battlefield going second. And there's like really hard to find good battlefields for going second. Normally it would be something like Vilemon's Lair, but with the banning of Fight or Flight, banning a Fight or Flight and like Flash not being as good of a card now makes it so that like Vilemon's isn't really super good, and you as a Kai'Sa player want to be able to run back as well. There is like reason to want to run back. Things like being able to run into a battlefield with Darius, untap with Darius, and then he like has pseudo ganking because he gets to run back to base and then like ready himself and run to the other battlefields. The Vilemon's stops you from being able to do that. If you run Kai'Sa onto Vilemon's, she's stuck there. She can't really get out, so you like lose her ability to like get recurrent value from her draws. So I'm like not super happy with Vilemon's, and Hall of Legends has use. Basically what it lets you do is lets you convert 1 energy into 1 power for your spells. So what you can do is you can like float the power from Kai'Sa, run in, pay the 1 to ready Kai'Sa, and then you can tap her again. And so instead of paying 2 energy and 1 red for a Falling Star, you can pay 3 energy for a Falling Star. Or instead of paying 6 and 1 for a Singularity, you can pay 7 for a Singularity. Something like that. Which I think is like fine. Like whenever I played against decks that had Hall of Legends, I felt like it was quite decent. It just lets you preserve your runes even more. And so you get to go to like 8-10 runes like so easily, and you get to just go infinite. The big thing is being able to cast Falling Star for 3 instead of casting it for 2 and a power. And it also lets you double spell, something like if you want to like Falling Star Smokescreen, it makes it a little bit easier because then you spend 5 energy and 2 runes instead of 4 energy and 3 runes, which is like important, you know. So it just like helps a lot with this kind of stuff. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Hall of Legends. I have not tested this a single bit. I've not played a single game of Kai'Sa. I don't really plan to, but yeah, it's interesting. The rest of the main deck is like pretty similar. 3 Kai'Sa Survivors because this card is broken. 3 Cleaves. Cleaves helps you against the Irelia matchup because you have 1 mana like +3, which helps to fix your matchups a lot. Cleave on Darius as a second card is +5, which is the same as Defiant Dance. So you're like almost as good as Defiant Dance in these very specific situations. So I do like Cleave. 1 Retreat because I think it's important for your opponent to have to respect Retreat. 3 Stupefies because it's really good. 2 Hextech Rays because I still don't know if the meta is going to be as fast as Origins, so it's hard to justify having a 3rd Hextech Ray. And there's like a lot of decks where Hextech Ray is like not super great. Like into any deflect unit, you like hate your life if you're playing Hextech Ray. So I think it's like 2, and it like could probably go down. I'm not really sure. 3 Plundering Poros, 3 Ravenbloom Students, and 2 Watchful Sentries. Ravenbloom is like an all-star in this deck, and Plundering Poro being able to generate gold is quite significant as well. Realistically, I think this could go to 3 Watchful Sentries and 2 Plundering Poros, but I do think it's like 3 Ravenblooms for sure. I don't hate going to 3 Sentries and 2 Poros. I think that's like perfectly reasonable as well. 3 Smokescreen. Smokescreen is just so good. Smokescreen is so good in this deck. It like -4 is so significant, and what you can do is like you can shoot something and then like run a bad unit into it. So say you like have a let's say your opponent has a Darius on battlefield. What you can do is you can like shoot it with Hextech Ray and then like walk Plundering Poro into it and then pass focus, and then if they react with some like say they like retreat it or something, or they play 2 cards to be able to get it up to 7 or something like that. In response, you can play Smokescreen and it dies. So Smokescreen is very, very good in like burn-based decks, because it lets you like kill things if damage is marked on them. 3 Falling Stars because that deck is broken. 2 Premonition. I still think this deck, like Premonition, is fine in this deck. It like functionally is the exact same as Progress Day. You play it 1 turn later than Progress Day normally. Like so, normally Progress Day you'll play at 6 runes and you'll just like draw 4 and pass. Premonition's like you usually have to play on like 8 or 10 runes for it to not feel like complete crap to play it. The benefit is a reaction speed, so you can dig for answers for Darius and Ravenbloom. So it helps pay off your Darius's and Ravenbloom's on defense, which is nice. Yeah. 2 Lecturing Yordles. This was originally 2 Void Seekers, but I think Lecturing Yordle is better. It's nice to have additional bodies on the board. 3 Darius. Darius is like an all-star in this deck. It's way better. Darius is way better than this deck than it was in Draven, because you have a lot more reaction speed stuff and a lot more spells, a lot more card draw and stuff. So you're able to utilize Darius way better than Draven was. 1 Bryn here in the main board. Like theoretically, I think this could go to 2. I think it's dependent on your local meta. If you have like a lot of Kaisa and a lot of like Viktor and stuff in your meta, you probably want more Forerunners, and if you have a lot of Irelia, you probably want more Bryn here. So it's kind of dependent on your local metagame. We have 2 Ferris Forerunners again. I think these 3 slots are dependent on local metagame, Bryn here and Forerunner. 2 Singularities and 2 Watchers. I'm not like 100% sure what the balance is supposed to be here. You have to be careful like loading up your deck with too much high end. So this is like 3 Dariuses, 3 Kaisas, 3 Bryn here / Forerunner, and then like 2 Watchers. You have to be really careful of like how much top end you put. I think like realistically you could put like 3rd Singularity or 3rd Watcher in and like cut something else up here, like maybe cut like a Ray or like a probably just a Ray or like a Smokescreen or something to make that work. And I think it's reasonable. Watcher is really good in this deck. Kaisa is able to preserve her runes a lot better than other blue decks are, so Watcher is able to actually come down at a reasonable time for it to be quite good. Sideboard, obviously this is like pending based on matchup experience and stuff. Sideboarding, like developing a good sideboard is really hard without being able to test. So this is like the tentative sideboard. Retreat is for like really heavy removal matchups, and you just need to be able to ramp and play your cards out. So it'd be like something like if you're at 6 mana, you accelerate Kaisa to a point, draw some amount of removal, and then like draw removal from your opponent, and then you retreat the unit. So it's just like a second retreat in the deck. I think it's like okay. I don't know if you really want to run 3, especially with Dreaming Tree Bands. Retreat doesn't really get as much value as it used to. 1 Assembly Rig is for control matchups, so that you can go infinite with Assembly Rig. I love that card. 2 Thermal Beam. Thermal Beam is way better in Kaisa than it was in Draven because you're allowed to pay for 1 less power, which is really significant. If your opponents are overextending, like if your Irelia opponents are overextending, it's really good. It's like it instantly kills Or and it instantly kills Azir. So Thermal Beam is really good to deal with a lot of like the weird rogue decks as well. It's like decent into as Fiora, and it's decent into Jax as well if any of those decks end up in your metagame as well. So I think 2 Thermal Beams is fine. Second Bryn here in the side. Probably what you want to do is if you have 2 Bryn Heres in the main, you'll have a second Forerunner in here, and if you have 2 Forerunners in the main, you have second Bryn here. That's probably what you want to do. Progress Day is also for control matchups, just to be able to dig through your deck more efficiently, and you're not really under pressure to play out onto the board really quickly. 3rd Singularity, I'm not really sure. Singularity is probably just for like the Kaisa matchup, and like some weird decks as well. I don't think Singularity is going to be that good in the new meta as well. So we'll see how that goes. And then 3rd Watcher. I think Watcher can probably go into the main board as well. There's like some interesting considerations you can put for this deck. 3rd Lecturing Yordle I think is interesting. 3rd Premonition is interesting. Watcher in the 3rd Watcher in the main. Time Warp is like an interesting card that you should probably consider. I think Time Warp in the sideboard probably makes sense. I would probably cut like Singularity for a Time Warp in the sideboard, or maybe put one Time Warp in the main board so that like your opponents are forced to respect it. But I never really like Time Warp. Time Warp kind of loses to a lot of stuff, so it's like it's up to you. So that's the Kaisa list. Let's talk about my boy, Viktor. So I've made like a couple changes for this list. I brought it yesterday to a skirmish, and got second to the skirmish, losing to mid-range Draven and Miracle Draven, which both decks no longer exist. I think Viktor has good matchups into Irelia, and good matchups into Control Kaisa and Control Viktor. He like loses hardcore to Tempo Kaisa though, because he lost hardcore to Tempo Kaisa in Origins, and I don't think the matchup has really changed all that much. So yeah, we'll see how the meta shakes out. I think Viktor, like Tempo Viktor, is going from like a medium to low tier 2 deck to like medium to low tier 1 deck with the new bans. So I think this deck is quite good, and we'll see how it plays out. This deck is going to look a lot differently from the typical Viktor list that you're going to be seeing placing well at regionals and stuff, like Dokgepi and Cody Williams if he's still playing Viktor, stuff like that. They tend to like to play Viktor a little bit slower than I do, but you'll kind of see the differences once we actually get into the list. The battlefields are War Camp, Arenas, and Void Gate. I think the only like the only main thing here is like you play Arena's Greatest when you're going first, and then Void Gate and War Camp are like matchup dependent for which one you want to be running. If you're playing against Kaisa, you probably want to play Arena's Greatest game 1, and then shift your deck to be slower based on the sideboard if your opponent is playing like a Tempo Kaisa style. Main board, you have 1 Viktor leader, 2 Bella's Breath, 3 Honest Broker. I went down from 3 Plundering Poros to 2 Plundering Poros, because it's like not that good of a top deck, and you don't like need 2 drops, because you have your like consistent recruits and stuff. So I'm at 5 total 2 drops, and it's probably fine. I still need to do more testing though. 3 Call the Weeks, 3 Hidden Blades. I put 2 Salvage in the main board. This was originally 2 Facebreakers in the main board. Facebreaker was like horrible. 2 Salvage is like interesting. I like 100% want to be on 1 Salvage in the main board, and 2 Salvage is like gonna be 100% meta considerations. If there's like a ton of Kaisa in your area, you like don't want 2 Salvage, you probably want 1 Salvage. If there's like a lot of Viktor, there's a lot of Irelia, there's a lot of Ornn, Azir, stuff like that, then you'll want to play a bunch of Salvage, because my suspicion is that Viktor is going to be still running Control Viktor style, which means Salvage is going to have targets, which are Vanguard Army. But if you don't see Vanguard Army, like they're playing Tempo style, you'll want to take Salvage out. This deck is also running 2 Card Sharp, so I cut 1 Plundering Poro and 1 Sinjao for Card Sharp. I like really want to go 3 Card Sharps. The problem is like I don't know where I'm getting the slot for Card Sharp. I really want to cut Bellows Breath. I really want to put Stupefy in, but I think I need Bellows Breath because of Imperial Degree Bellows Breath. So it like makes me tempted to go down to 1, but like the question is, what happens if I never draw the Bellows and I need it? So I'm like sticking with 2 in the main board for now, and like I could go down to 1 and put like 3 card traps in or something, or it might be like 1 less Plundering Poro for 1 more card trap as well. 3 Faithful Manufacturer, 3 Wages Paid, 3 Vanguard Captains, 3 Consult the Past, 3 Sprite Mothers, 3 Imperial Decrees, 2 Singularities, and 2 Thousand-Tailed Watchers. So I went down 1 Singularity and down 1 Riptide Rex for 2 Thousand-Tailed Watchers. Watcher is like a lot less bad now because purple is not going to be so overwhelming. It was not good in the previous meta because of Fight or Flight, Switcheroo, Defiant Dance, stuff like that. Watcher like loses really hard too. But now there's like a little bit more consideration for what you're going to be looking at, because the prominent deck is going to be like Kaisa Irelia probably. The problem with Irelia is like Singularity and Riptide Rex both get not so fast, which is like really significant. And they also target, which means you're recycling more runes. So Watcher is 8 and 2 power. Singularity, if you're targeting Irelia, is 6 and 3 power. And then Riptide Rex is also 6 and 3 power. And they both get not so fast triggered. They both get not so fast, which sucks. Watcher doesn't have to deal with that. And he's also just a 7 might body, and he gives them -3. So I think 2 watches is correct. I'm like tempted to go to like 1 singularity and like 3 watches or something like that, but that could get like really clunky. So I'm not sure. So I'm sticking with 2 and 2 and seeing how that plays out for a little bit, just to test. I'm gonna be testing it for the next few days leading up to the skirmish as well. Sideboard, I don't know what the hell is going on with the sideboard. Don't look. I have 1 Bella's Breath. This probably goes in for like really board based matchups where you need like Imperial Decree Bellows, or you need like Watcher Bellows or something like that to like get a lot of value. I have 2 Blood Monies, so this is like in case the meta ends up going a lot faster. There's a lot of like decent targets for Blood Money. Things like Lonely Poro, Plundering Poro, Watchful Sentry, Sneaky Deckhand, Traveling Merchant, stuff like that. So there's got a lot of decent targets for Blood Money. And if you need to, you can always target yourself and get 2 golds, which is like fine, but like not great. 3rd Salvage, because my suspicion is that Irelia is gonna be really good, and you want like literally all the salvages you can get. I have 1 Sinjao. This is like in case the meta gets really fast as well. I think Sinjao's good enough. He like eats into a lot of units, which is nice, and he defends as a 4, which is like relevant. If you want to put units behind him, he has tank as well, which is nice. My suspicion is that he's like not that good. When I was playing, every single time I've played Sinjao, I was like, this card is fine, but like not great. The nice thing is he's cheap. He's 3 and a yellow, so you can like if you're at 4 mana, you can play a recruit behind him, which is really nice. So yeah, I think one of in the side is fine. Like you could consider going more and putting them into the main board depending on how fast you want to go. If you want to go like giga fast, you could put like 1 or 2 Sinjaos in the main board, but it has like diminishing rewards based on how fast or slow your opponent is. We have 1 Progress Day. There was a game I played the other day where I like ran out of cards, and it was like a super control matchup, and I just wish I had 1 Progress Day just so that I could draw that and just refill my entire hand. So it's in here. It's probably not good. It's probably only good into like a control matchup. Like I'll put 1 into like Viktor or something, or like Control Kaiser or something. I don't think it's that good. This card could probably get removed. There's 1 Riptide Rex and 1 Singularity. This is for the Kaisa matchup, so if Tempo Kaisa becomes like a thing again, you probably want to like take out play Arena's Greatest game 1, and then take out a lot of like the fast stuff, and then just like slow yourself down and put Rex, Singularity, and like Watcher or something for like Progress Day, Riptide Rex, and Singularity, or like Riptide Rex, Singularity, and Watcher for like the salvages, and then you just like slow yourself down and just like stop Kaisa from being able to play the game. Eventually you like kind of lose because they have more accelerate, or they have like a lot of accelerate units, because they have like Darius, Kaisa, and Watcher. But you have things like Hidden Blade and stuff to be able to deal with that occasionally, or like Imperial Decree Bellows and stuff like that to deal with that if you have to. So I don't know how the matchup ends up going, so we'll see. I'm not really sure. Yeah. So these are the 2 lists that I'm like considering. I was originally just gonna show the Viktor, because I'm like a Viktor main at heart since Origins. But I think Kaisa is gonna be a quite reasonable deck, especially the Tempo Kaisa version. I think is like infinitely better than Control Kaisa version. So I thought you guys might be interested in learning about that one as well. But yeah, that's everything I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.